wondered why Elon Musk seems to loom over our headlines, whether you love him or hate him? Let me paint the picture. A South African-born nerd turned North American tech mogul, blazing a trail from PayPal to the edge of Mars, with detours through electric cars, solar panels, and even brain-computer interfaces. Now, you might be thinking, is Musk really all that different from the billionaire entrepreneurs who came before? Here's where things get interesting. Hollywood casts him as Tony Stark, while Silicon Valley touts him as the living avatar of disruption. Yet, Musk's public persona is a carefully engineered brand, a blend of pop culture, stardom, and relentless business theatrics. The technical term here is personal branding, but in Musk's case, it's weaponized into a media phenomenon. So, is he a genuine visionary, or just a master performer in the theater of tech capitalism? By the end of today's story, you'll see that the answer is a little of both. Let me tell you a story. Early in Musk's career, he was already playing roles in The Big Bang Theory and The Simpsons, not just selling products, but selling Musk as a concept. That's not luck, it's deliberate strategy. But here's the conflict. Our culture is torn between fascination, he's the superhero captain of industry who wants to die on Mars, and exasperation at his unpredictable, even exhausting antics. Will this high-stakes gambler burn out? Or can he keep reinventing himself as the protagonist in the story of 21st century capitalism? Let's dig deeper. Let's talk about disruption. The Silicon Valley buzzword Musk has practically tattooed on his public image. Have you noticed how every company he touches promises to obliterate the old order? PayPal didn't just offer online payments. It bulldozed the brick and mortar banking paradigm. SpaceX? It crashed the military-industrial party, slashing launch costs with reusable rockets, a feat once dismissed as science fiction. Now, you might ask, what makes Musk's disruption different? The technical answer lies in vertical integration, controlling every link in the chain, from design to delivery. Think of it as owning not just the bakery, but also the wheat field, the trucks, and the recipe. Musk's companies are full-stack startups, attacking entire industries, not just niches. But here's the twist. The mythology of the lone, genius entrepreneur masks a messier reality. Musk didn't start in a vacuum. Zip2 rode the dot-com wave. PayPal fused with Confinity in a strategic mafia alliance. Even his most radical moves piggybacked on public infrastructure and government research. The conflict? The grand narrative makes it look like one master plan, but Musk's trajectory is littered with setbacks, pivots, public flops. Remember Falcon 1's 3 failed launches? Or the doubters who laughed at electric cars outselling Detroit's finest? Yet, Musk turns every stumble into another tale of grit, a dramatic arc that keeps the legend alive. So, ask yourself, is this disruptive genius or just relentless storytelling? The answer shapes not just how we see Musk, but how we understand modern entrepreneurship itself. Every revolution hits a wall, and for Musk, that wall is the brutal reality check of scaling up. I've seen it time and again, startups dazzle in demo mode, but the true test is mass production. Here's where technical terms like exponential growth and burn rate come into play. Imagine a rocket. It burns through fuel at an astonishing pace, and so do these companies with cash. Now, you might be thinking, but isn't Musk's genius in launching the impossible? Let's take Tesla, its ambitious promise of green mobility, a full-blown challenge to fossil fuel kings. But scale brings pain. Profitless quarters, missed targets, and even tragedy, like the 2018 autopilot crash, or SpaceX, where a Falcon 9 exploded right after takeoff, instantly vaporizing the myth of infallibility. These moments of crisis are crucibles, the point where PR and technical prowess must fuse. Musk's response? Double down on spectacle. Remember the $500 Boring Company flamethrowers? Marketing genius or desperate liquidity pump? Both, perhaps. But here's the resolution. While some ventures fizzle, think Hyperloop's baffling demos, others, like the reusable Falcon 9, emerge stronger. The real feat is not just surviving the hype cycle, but but converting it into lasting industrial muscle. So next time you see a flashy Musk demo, ask, is this the future or just the next episode in a marathon of high wire bets? The line between showmanship and substance is thinner than you think. Let's shift the lens from spectacle to the people making the spectacle possible. Musk headlines every story, but behind him are thousands caught up in what I'd call visionary labor. What does it take to work under the pressure of Mars or bust? At SpaceX and Tesla, the culture is all-consuming. Employees are expected to devote boundless hours, fueled by fanatical commitment and, yes, a near religious belief in the CEO's mission. Now, imagine you're an engineer at SpaceX. The technical jargon is everywhere. Terms like delta V and thrust to weight ratio are your bread and butter. But what really drives you is the promise of building the future. It's exhilarating and exhausting. Here comes the conflict. Can this cult-like intensity sustain itself, or does it breed burnout and disillusionment? Let me tell you a story. A veteran SpaceX engineer once described the work as fun and epic, but confessed to feeling like a cog in Musk's epic narrative, always one crisis away from collapse. And yet, the dream persists, colonizing Mars, transcending human limits with Neuralink, pushing disruptive innovation beyond Earth. The technical ambition is staggering, but so is the cost to those who chase it. So I ask you, is this the birth of a new human frontier, or just the latest chapter in the saga of Silicon Valley hustle? The answer may depend on whether the vision outlasts the burnout. Now let's talk power. Musk is more than a billionaire. He's a political force, leveraging both state subsidies and the rhetoric of the cosmic frontier. Ever notice how his Martian visions blend hard science fiction with old-school American manifest destiny? It's techno-futurism fused with a pioneer spirit. Here's the technical tension. His companies thrive on public-private synergy. Think NASA, contracts, and tax breaks, while projecting the image of heroic lone wolf innovation. In Silicon Valley, they call this philanthrocapitalism, where doing good and making money are spun as inseparable. But here's the conflict. Musk's philanthropy comes with caveats, and his so-called political independence is often a dance between power blocks. He donates to Republicans and Democrats, sits on presidential councils, and lambasts government decisions he dislikes, all while relying on state infrastructure to realize his visions. So, what's the resolution? Musk's brand of disruption doesn't aim to destroy the state, but to entangle with it reshaping public resources into launch pads for private dreams. The line between entrepreneur and policymaker blurs, and suddenly, the gamble isn't just financial, but societal. So, I'll leave you with this. Are we witnessing the dawn of a genuinely new capitalism? Or simply a bolder remix of the old formula, turbocharged by tech, spectacle, and the audacity of one man's cosmic ambition?